Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Hellfire. Welcome back to another This Week in WiXoss, your source for all information on WiXoss for both English and the Japanese side of the game. So this week is kind of a little bit of a short week here. On the English side of the game, these got spoiled out before I recorded this video. This would technically be for next week, but I'll cover these today. We got our May party promos that have been revealed. On the Japanese side of the game, we have finally gotten the deck list ratios for the new starter decks. These were a bit of a mystery for the longest time, even going so as far as if you're aware of the Cockatrice plugin that is made by Tetris. He speculated on the lists, made some really fun, like what he thought the lists could have been, but now we have the official deck list / ratios for them, as well as their May and June party promos that was mentioned in a prior video. We finally have the full text on those instead of text meant for ants. But before we get into all of that, we have the solution to the prior Crush My Board puzzle, and it will go something like this. So you see we got a board set up here that was mentioned a couple weeks ago. If you want to see what that board setup is, again, check out the video from 2 weeks prior. I'll have a link to the description below. So we're going to start our turn out with Enter Charging Glacia here, giving us a second blue enter. We'll activate Carnivals once per game, turning the Lynx and Gyropon into Servant Zeros. Activate Bravery Heroines. This will make the next Lorig that we grow into cost 4 colorless less. Using that, we will grow into Ray Absolute Zero, targeting the Servant Zero that used to be a Gyropon. Now, this will send that to the bottom of the opponent's deck as Gyropon, but since it was a level 1, their servant will get discarded. We'll play Yogg Sothothir, pay out our 2 blue enter for the action to put the bottom card of our opponent's deck into their trash, which will vanish the remaining Gyropon on the field. We'll play Noboribetsu, followed up by High Circus. High Circus's enter will swap the positions of Noboribetsu and High Circus, which triggers Noboribetsu. We pay out all of our enter except for Mew Memoria to swap them in enter. Then on Mew's new enter effect, we'll pay the Noboribetsu so we can salvage it. Use her action to put the Noboribetsu under her as a marker. Go to beginning of attacks, triggering Mew, vanishing the remaining Servant Zero on the opponent's field, and you get full 4 damage without having to worry about Life Cloth, or you get full 4 damage without having to worry about an opponent's servant, since we already know that they have no bursts remaining in their Life Cloth. And with that, that is the solution to the prior Crush My Board puzzle. Again, thank you, Rue, for these puzzles once again. If you happen to find a solution that was different than what was given, feel free to let us know in the comments. Or if you got it on without any hints or whatsoever, just feel free to let me know. I love seeing if people have figured these out. And with that, we will go and present our next puzzle. So for this puzzle's setup, in your hand you will have Call Out, Volcanic Scythe, Fever, 7 Lights, and Darkness 7. Your main deck will consist of Osakitsune, Phantom Terror Beast God as your top card. Now do remember, if I mention anything about the main deck and any player's setup in these, it is in order from top to bottom. As the second card, we have Parajulis, Phantom Aquatic Beast, and your last 2 cards will be Contempora, Jade Beauty Queen. Your Lorig zones, in your left you have Donna Glittering, your center is Bang, Making a Miracle, And your right is Carnival Finality. Trash, you have Miracle Draw, you have Eternal Influence, Thrilling, Affection, and Reticle Digger, and Rapid Accumulation. Your enter will consist of 2 copies of Karasawa Doomed General and Parajulis Phantom Aquatic Beast. As additional information, you have 7 total cards underneath your Larig. Now, do remember that Bang does have a beginning of attack phase timing. That has not been used at the point in this puzzle in any capacity. Meaning you still have your full 7 since you are fully grown out. For your opponent's setup, in your hand, in their hand, they have 3 servants. Their deck is 2 cards, doesn't matter what. Larig deck can be either Madoka Clap or Madoka Dub. When solving this puzzle, treat as if they have either or. In their trash, they have 10 total cards. Their Signy Zones consist of, in their left slot, Tama Memoria Doomed Angel Queen. Their center consists of Huangzong, Blessed General. And their right consists of Tama Memoria Doomed Angel Queen. In the Larig Zones, they have on their left, Madoka Float. Their center doesn't matter. And their right is Yuka Yuka Piyahara. As additional information, the turn prior, the opponent used Yuka Yuka Pihara, so they have 9 total limit. On to English news. We've got our May party promos, which are Aya Memoria Second Play, Mew Memoria Phantom Insect, and the WiXoss Multiverse promos of Tama, the original level 3, and Real Memory, almost said Real Memoria, excuse me. So we got Tama and Real as our Multiverse Larig promos for this month, and that kind of wraps it up for English side of the game. I was hoping Takara Tomy would have deck lists available for Desona, since they do like to post sample lists, but looks like that'll be a next week thing. And now on to the Japanese side of the game. Now on the Japanese side of the game, we have, as mentioned before, our deck list ratios for their new starter decks. So, if we're looking at the White Alt Hope, which is the Tama deck, we got 1 of every Larig card that's to be expected. And outside of the reprints, it looks like 4 of every single card, and this is going to be a theme that will be shown throughout all 5 of these starter decks. So all the new cards will have a 4 of in the main deck, plus a 4 of Servant, and then the reprints will be varying from 1 to 3 copies. So the 4 ofs for this one is Kukuri, Light War Arm, Flamber, High Armed, Caliburn, Full Armed, Romail, Full Armed, and Re-Get Buyable. With the 1 ofs being Penlight, or with the non-4 ofs being Penlight, Remember, Sela, Gaybolg all printed at 1 copies. Even Haniel is printed at 1 copy here, which is really weird, but I think this is like, I don't remember the Tama TD off the top of my head. I think Haniel was a 4 of in there, like a 4 or a 2 of in there, one or the other. So, plus people will probably have the Haniels at this point. It being a 1 of isn't the end of the world. So that's the Tama list. Here's the Hanyo list. 4 ofs of Iron, Bronda, Sylvan, Volcano, and the spell Roaring Blaze Pillar. And we see here also all the reprint SRs are 1 ofs. That is another theme that continues on. So all the reprint SRs for this will be 1 ofs. So we got a 1 of Alexandrite, Dia Bride, Orochi, and Hanyo Memoria. Purluke, 4 of Skycat Code Elect, Juvenile Code Art, Dress Code Art, Ramin Code Art, and 2 Badly. The 1 ofs, the 1 of reprints, Royal Blue, Waffle Ice, and Alos and Code Pierluke Memoria. So it's funny that Waffle Ice gets reprinted here, because at least in the English side, like, Waffle Ice isn't really that used, but I know it's a very popular card in JP for All-Star. So I wonder if that has something to do with the reprint. Who knows? Maybe it just plays nicely with the deck. I haven't had the opportunity to play with the Cockatrice file that Tetris made with these decks, so who knows how it plays within this deck. Going on to Midorikos. One of SR reprints of Contempora, Amino Acid, Chimera, and Osagitsune. 4 of the new cards: Kongenbu, Phantom Warbeast, Misuzaku, Phantom Warbeast, Big Tat, Phantom Warbeast, Seryu, Phantom Beast Deity, and Bud Opening. And then wrapping up the deck lists for the new starter decks, we have Uriths. Her 4 ofs being Demon Kid, Cosmo, and Bezel Doomed Evil, and then Metsume, Doomed Evil Queen, and then Whole Darkness, the one of reprints for SRs being Tama Yorihime, Tama Doomed Angel Queen, Dragon Maid, Urith Memoria, and Musica Memoria. And then the random one of I'm not sure what the other random one of is. I don't remember that card off the top of my head. But with that, we'll go on to the spoilers. As mentioned before, they have their party promos that have been spoiled for May and June. We did see this effect before, and it was a speculation because the text was for ants. It was hard to read. So we have Green Barrel, Natural Crystal. During your opponent's turn, if this becomes targeted, you get, by an ability or effect, you get to enter, or by your opponent's ability or effect, you get to enter charge 1. And then Bellot type Zwei. On enter, you can down any number of Uplerig on your field, and then target Signu in your opponent's field, and gets minus 1k power multiplied by the combined total level of all Lerig down for this ability's cost until end of turn. One thing to note, I don't think these cards were in the booster. There was a lot that was covered in the past couple weeks, but I believe these are not functional reprints of promos like we are used to getting. These are unique game pieces as promos. It's interesting seeing a lot of this stuff. It allows them to print just a few more extra cards instead of just alt arts. And like I said, this was going to be a short video anyways, so thank you everybody for watching and listening. Look forward to next week's video, and I will see you all later.